I'm gonna let you lead on the follow, cause you know what you wanna. You got the vision. A little bit more room.
All right, guys.
Is that Versace?
Yeah, bro.
Wow.
100,000 on the shirt.
It's good, guys.
100,000 on the shirt.
Damn. 100 racks on the t-shirt?
Yeah.
On the Carhartt?
Something slight.
Damn, they gypped you.
All right, what's up, guys? So today is a little bit of a different type of video. I've been getting a lot of questions and just a lot of comments recently about people wanting to kind of like start their own journey, whether that be their own business or mainly just around starting your own business, whether that be a clothing business, a restaurant, whatever you want to call it. For me specifically, being a photographer and filmmaker on YouTube and also on Instagram, and also having my own business on the side, you know, as far as like doing weddings and events and promotional videos for places like this place and a bunch of other stuff. And essentially, like, what I've noticed people struggling the most with is outside influences, kind of like people looking for approval from friends, family, all that kind of stuff. And really what's like driven me to make this video is that I've been through a lot of that myself, because I finished high school, I had decent grades, I got an advanced diploma. You know, I've always kind of done, at least the majority of the time, what my family wanted me to do as far as like, you know, do as good as you can in school. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say I had a 4.0, I didn't. Like, I'm not the best student. I actually hate school.
No, I didn't have a 4.0.
Yeah, like, I hate school, right? So, finished high school, went into college, and started at community college, which I suggest all of you do. If you absolutely have to go to college, please start at community college, it's way cheaper. And I kind of, you know, after my first year there, I realized that, you know, I really had a passion for photography and making films, and I wanted to pursue it and make it into a business. And of course, I have some influences in my family that did not approve of that. They wanted me to continue with school, get my degree and get a stable job, right?
What's considered like a stable job for an adult, a 9 to 5 basically.
Right, something that's like gonna give you like your benefits, your 401k, your retirement, blah, blah, blah. Essentially, they wanted me, and I hate to say it like this because I know this is not how they look at it, but like when I hear someone tell me this is like what I envision. Like, okay, so you want me to wake up every day of my life at the same time, go to the same place, do the same thing, go home at the same time. Like, why do you want such a boring life for me, right?
Very basic, very cookie cutter, very
routine. And I'm just like, you support me, but you don't want me to do something greater than everyone else.
Exactly.
But you know, that's my little story. So what I'm here to talk to you guys about, and I have Cliff with me because he and I kind of share, you know, a similar mindset and outlook on this topic. And it's essentially just that. So, you know, you want to do something with your life that's greater than a 9 to 5. You don't want to be you don't want
to be the standard average.
Yeah, you don't want to be a paycheck slave, right? You don't want to do what someone else tells you to do every day. You don't want to rely on your boss to sign your paycheck in order for you to live, right? You want to go out there, start your own business. You want to make money on your own means. If you want to work hard as hell and make $100 million a year, you can. You will never make $100 million working for someone else unless you're in some type of humongous investment company. And even at that point, you're still an entrepreneur, because at the end of the day, you own your accounts. And I'm sure there's probably some specific avenues where you could still be an employee at that point. But the thing is, if you guys want to start your own business and you want to become, I mean, if you guys are coming from my social media, I'm assuming, you know, you guys are interested in photography, or maybe you just want to start a business of your own. And the best advice I can give to you is that if the person that you're taking advice from does not have what you want, then take what they have to say with a grain of salt, because I mean, it only makes sense. I don't really know exactly how to like explain this any other way, but maybe you can help me with this. But, you know, say for example, like your parents, right? Your parents work a 9 to 5 job, okay? They've never owned a business. They've never tried, or maybe they did try and maybe they failed. Maybe that's why they don't want you to go down this route, because they know how you know, devastating it was for them
Stressful.
to put their all into everything and then it fail, right? So they don't want that for you because they love you. They don't want you. Yeah, bullshit.
Trying to coddle you.
Exactly.
Instead of letting you actually go do your own thing and experience. Get the greatest way to learn in life for what you want to do and find your own avenues and what's going to make you successful and what you want to make you successful is experience. Everything's a stepping stone. I've had tons of jobs before I got into the career that I'm in now, which is not the thing that I want to specifically stay in because I want to be my own boss, but everything is a stepping stone. So whatever job that I have, I'll learn from that and gain wisdom from that. The greatest teacher in life is wisdom. Reading a textbook isn't going to teach you about life. The only way to learn about life is to actually get out and do things different.
Live it.
Everybody has their own sense of wisdom and different experiences. You can't live someone else's experience because that's their experience. So the only way to actually figure out what you really want to do is just to keep trying new and different things and not trying to do what everybody else is trying to do.
Yeah, and one of the things I wanted to also kind of like bring up is that it's okay. So like what I'm about to say is not like, you know, depending on who's watching this, it's something that I've honestly seen and I've figured out over the past several months to about a year, is that a lot of people, man, like it's really sad, but like even people in your family and people that you think are your friends, I mean, there's a couple different categories of people that I've noticed. Like, you know, there's people that are jealous and they don't want to see you do better than them. There are people that just don't understand something and they choose not to understand it, so they reject it.
That's like the biggest.
Yeah, and then the other one is just literally people who are just selfish and they just don't. I don't know. They're just negative. Like it's really weird. So I mean, a lot of the times, like when you get advice from people in your family, kind of like back to the example that I was talking about, if they've never owned a business, if they've never even tried that, and they're telling you that you shouldn't do it for X and Y reason, then it doesn't make logical sense to believe that. If they've never done it, so how can they tell you you shouldn't try it, right?
And things with family and friends is because they know you. They're gonna come from a different place than.
Sorry, I'm having trouble with the connection. Please try again in a moment.
Look, Siri out here listening to the government. But anyway, that messed me all up.
That was so
with family,
weird.
that was odd.
That was
but
very weird.
with family and friends, they're coming from a different place because they know you, so there's emotional ties there to you. Some of the best places to go for advice is people that don't really know you that well.
Yeah.
That's why it's really good to network.
Or people that already have what you have, and you know they already.
Or what you're striving for.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're going to be coming from a place of not like, you know, like, oh, you're my kid, or you're my friend, or you're my cousin, you're my brother, so I'm going to try to look out for you. They're not trying to look out for you. They're going to give you the tools or whatever ideas or thoughts that you need. They're going to answer.
They're unbiased.
Yeah, they're going to answer your question. They're not going to look at it as from, oh, well, maybe this can happen to you, or
Right.
I don't want this
They're
to
not
happen
gonna
to
say,
you,
oh, remember
or
back-
I don't want you to outdo me. They're just going to answer your question. Like guys like Gary Vee and who was like Joe Rogan, all those guys that are on these big platforms. The reason why they're so big because they give people ideas. They give people, you know, tools that they can use to make themselves better. Because if that was a family member, yeah, they're going to try to help you, but at the same time, they're going to be somewhat biased because they know you. So they're going to kind of hide things from you because they don't either A, they don't want to hurt your feelings, or two, they don't want you to be put into a position where you can get your feelings hurt, or you can, you know, kind of be derailed from, you know, your thought pattern. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
They don't want you to get into like a bad place, right?
Exactly.
So they want to like kind of coddle you from like maybe getting depressed.
yeah,
or
they don't want to be
whatever.
just 100% real with you
Yeah.
because they're worried about how it's going to affect them.
Yeah. And then the last thing that I kind of noticed is that, you know, like when you try to like go against the norm,
Against the grain.
yeah, I mean, people don't like that, man. And it's like, it's so sad because like, I don't know, man. Like just, for example, think about how crazy, and I know like a lot of you probably have heard this. This is very like, people talk about this all the time. At least around me they do, or I've heard it a lot. But like, think about how crazy people thought people like Bill Gates or Steve Jobs or Elon Musk or like all these people who have created
Definitely Elon Musk.
or have created something like immense and abundant with like their whatever their ideas were. Think about how crazy other people thought they were, right? When before a computer or even like the Wright brothers, right? So like for example with Steve Jobs and the people in the tech industry, before these things actually came about, like think of how crazy they sounded to people around them. Like, you know, they probably thought they were lunatics. They were like, you know, like, what are you talking about? I'm sure there were some people who agreed with them and who were like, yes, go do it. But the vast majority of people looked at that as like, oh my gosh, like, you're freaking nuts. And look at how big of an impact they had on the world because they didn't listen to those people, right?
A big one that I think about, which is huge if you think about it in this perspective, Phil Knight, the owner of Nike. Nike came about in Oregon because Phil Knight was going to school in Oregon. I think he ran track or he coached track, one or two, don't hold me there. But there was no such thing as track spikes back then. Phil Knight, what he did was he took a shoe, the sole of a shoe, and used a waffle iron to create those divots in the shoe and basically turned them into like spikes sharp at the end, and then had the runners run with those on.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, and based off that concept, that's how he created the track spike. And that's how Nike came along. And now look at Nike, it's like the biggest shoe company in the world.
I'm pretty sure they are the biggest shoe company in the world.
They're the only person that would be really competing with them is Adidas because of Kanye. But most people don't even know that about Nike, how Nike started. Nike just wasn't some guy that was just like, oh, I want to start making shoes, let's call it Nike.
Yeah.
No, the guy was super innovative. He was around a time when there was something that was needed, that was innovative, and something that could help push a sport and a culture forward, which is sports. And he created something that nobody would have thought of. They're like, hey, what the hell are you doing? You're using a waffle iron? You're an idiot. Like, that's never going to work. Now look at it. It's a multi-billion-dollar business.
Yeah,
like,
it's crazy.
Look at that.
Nike, it's nuts, man. That goes to say, like, you know, I'm sure when he did that, right, and he, you know, presented the idea to people around him, they were probably like, oh no, you know, like,
they probably outcasted him. They probably told him, you know, you're an idiot.
And maybe they didn't, but like, just the thing of it is like, kind of like bringing it back to like the whole thing of this video is that like, there's always going to be people that don't believe in you, that don't want to see you do better than them. And I know that sounds so bad to say, but like, it's just the truth.
Or they can't just wrap their head around.
Yeah, or they can't understand like why you want to do that, so they just dismiss it and they choose not to try to understand it, and then, you know, that just becomes an unsupportive way of thinking. So essentially, guys, like all I'm trying to get to here is that, you know, no matter what you want to do, at the end of the day, like, I mean, again, this is gonna sound like kind of outlandish, but like at the end of the day, we're all gonna die, right? So like, just fucking do it. I mean, like, you're gonna die either way, right? And I know that sounds like so to the point and just like,
we can die when we leave out of here.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? This fucking place could just get a bomb dropped on it.
Siri might be still listening.
Nah, for real, guys, though. But I mean, I'm being serious here. So like, if you really want to do something, to hell with what anyone else tells you, man. Like, unless you're, and obviously, like, if you have good intentions, you want to start a business, you want to do things on your own terms, and you really have the drive to do it, don't let what anyone else tells you, like, you know, steer you off that path. Because if you let them steer you off your path, you're gonna look back 10 years later and say, damn, like, I really wish I would have just said fuck what they had to say and done what I knew was best for me. Right. And if they choose not to support you, that's on them, man. Because like, at the end of the day, I know, at least for me, the reason why I want to do so great in this world and do so much for myself is so that I can pour from a full glass, and I want to be able to give back to the people around me and upbring and uplift and give back in an abundant way to those around me. And if I listen to people around me that don't support me, in my mind, I just think like, they're like self-sabotaging themselves, because why would you not want me to win? Because I just want to give back to you. Like, and this is not like talking specifically to anybody. I'm just saying any moment, you know, it could be this person or that person, but at the end of the day, you just have to remember, like, if you have a strong drive to do something, don't let what someone else says steer you off that path, especially, my God, especially if they don't have the experience. Like, the whole concept, this is like a short little tidbit off of what I'm going at, but if you go to college and study entrepreneurship and your professor has never been an entrepreneur,
Doesn't even make
what
sense.
the fuck is that?
Like, why are they even teaching that?
That's like,
They have a degree, but they never actually use their degree. They just decide to teach because they have a degree.
yeah, because they failed at it.
Yeah. Or either they just didn't have the drive, they just wanted to study it.
So I mean, like, it's just kind of like you have to use a little bit of common sense here. And I do understand that, you know, some people are in different positions, and maybe you do. Like, in order for you to survive, maybe you do need to go get a 9-to-5 job, and you need to start your business or whatever it is you want to do on the side until your business can outpace your 9-to-5 income. Then you can drop the 9-to-5 and kind of go full speed into your business. But if you're in a position like I am, I still live at home. I don't have, you know, crazy bills or whatever. So, you know, I just help out when I can, and then I can just pocket the rest and invest it back in my business. Like, if you're in that position, then I really think you need to take full advantage of it and don't care about what anyone says, right? Because if your parents don't support you and people around you don't support you, that's okay. Because if you persevere and you keep pushing and pushing, you're gonna make it. And then
Confidence, just consistency.
Yeah,
That's all it is. Never get complacent, because as soon as complacency hits the next person that's going to be willing to work hard, they're just going to step up and just take what could have been yours.
yeah, exactly.
And so,
if you never give up, I mean, honestly, like, I've never
as
once.
cheesy as that sounds,
It does. It isn't really cheesy. I mean, it's the truth. But I mean, like, if you honestly never give up, it's almost impossible for you to fail. I feel like the number one reason why people fail is because they give up on themselves. And if you let what someone else tells you or what someone else thinks influence the way that you live your life or the choices that you make,
that's trash.
like, that's trash,
It's
man.
your
That's
life.
bullshit.
Because at the end of the day, they're going to live their life.
And they're gonna die, and you're gonna be left like, fuck, why did I listen to what the hell they say?
Or
Now I
either-
have nothing. Or now I'm working this bullshit ass job that I hate.
Or you're going to go through your life unfulfilled, and then eventually you're going to pass away, and then at the end of your life, I mean, people are going to know you for what you did and who you were, but your impact is not going to be as meaningful and there's not going to be any legacy, you know what I mean? So like the biggest thing for like us, and I know especially me coming from where I come from, especially being young and black and in powerlifting, you don't really see too many young black people in powerlifting, and even in YouTube and stuff like that, you don't really see it that prominently. But from where I'm from, it's kind of like, that's not normal to have somebody doing
either.
YouTube. It kind of, people are like, what are you doing? Like, put the camera down. You look like an idiot.
Yeah, it's like,
And-
what are you filming for?
Yeah, and like in our area, people get kind of weirded out by it. But I mean, if we let that affect us, we wouldn't be in the position that we are now. Like, yeah, I wouldn't call it a 9-to-5 job because I'm a police officer, but I'm in a career right now, using that career as a stepping stone until I can get to where I want to be able to do things that I want to do with powerlifting, with fitness, with physical therapy, and giving back to people, and then with YouTube and such. So the biggest thing is that, yeah, you're in a situation right now, but while you're within that situation, just, like Big Sean said, stick to the plan. Do what you set out to do. Killer Mike, go look up Killer Mike. He's one of the greatest people to learn from when it comes to just staying consistent and just working hard and not letting anybody else, an outsider, influence what you do. His main thing is kill your masters. So what your master would be is all the people that are around you that are trying to control your life, whether that's your boss, whether that's the romantic relationship that you're in, whether that's your family. All those people are going to try to have an impact on your life in a way that there's going to be times where they're going to tell you what you should and should not do. Kill your masters. So tell those people like, hey, I love you, I respect you, but shut the fuck up because it's my life. If you love me, then support me. If you don't support me, cool. I'm going to keep doing my thing. Kill your masters. So you got a boss, anything like that, you might hate your boss, you might love your boss. End of the day, boss up, be your own person, and just go out there and just work and just grind and just stay consistent. Give 100%. Nipsey Hussle said, one of the biggest keys to life is just bossing up, being your own boss, and then spreading that to the people around you. And with that, you can change the world. And that's all it takes. It doesn't take a lot. It just takes consistency and just having this much ounce of care to actually want to work hard, do good things for yourself, and then put that positive energy out to other people. So that's the biggest thing with success, really. And we're both seeing success now, just by that script right there. We're not only just doing what we're doing and just kind of just leaving it there. We're using that to inspire other people. Like I've got people that have gotten into powerlifting now because they saw me powerlift. He's got people that's getting into photography because he do photography. He does videography. So it's kind of, you know, same concept. So, you know, stay positive and just keep working. And somebody tells you you can't do something, say kiss my ass in a respectful way.
In the most
respectful way, because you want to be positive. Even
Not really though.
Even if they get in your face and be like, you fucking suck, you're nobody, just be like, that's cool, man. But I'm gonna be great one day. And there you go.
I would say kind of to leave you guys with a couple little tips, you know, these may be things.
Adjust the tip.
These may be things you guys have heard before, but some of the things that I've always kind of like kept fresh in my head, you know, is have a goal or an outcome or have a vision that's bigger than yourself. So like kind of when I talk about the reason why I want to get to where I want to get, and I'll talk about that in just a second, is because I want to be able to give back in an immense way to the people around me and to the people that I meet that I care about, right? You know what I mean? I want to be able to do something more than just help myself.
Everybody eats, B.
Yeah, and one other thing would be, you know, write your goals down. I know it's gonna be like, in order for you to succeed with this kind of stuff, you have to adapt new habits and new ways of doing things, and writing down what you want and being very specific with it will help you a lot.
It works, let me tell you.
Yeah, it really does.
I was telling him a year ago, this is before I even met him, I had wrote down my goals for 2018, and I wrote them down, looked them over, I put that book away. A year later, I come back, I accomplished about 90% of every goal that I wrote down in that book, which is crazy. Subconsciously in my mind, I forgot all about it, but it was still there because I wrote it down, and because that was something that was important to me. So ingrained in my head was that, obviously, because it was special enough to write it down. So to come back a year later and to like check off all those goals, that's pretty powerful. Because I mean, if I would have never wrote that down, then that means that wasn't something that was in my heart. So to be able to write something down and put a notebook away, go in my trunk a year later, haven't looked at this notebook, crack it open, and then see 90% of what, like 13, 14, 15, whatever, how many goals that I wrote down was pretty much all checked off. That's pretty crazy, which shows like, you know, if you got some type of goals, vision, and you write that down and you tell yourself like, this is my goal, my goals is to complete these and I'm gonna work to complete these, I guarantee you're gonna check those off. Unless it's like something that is more of a long-term goal.
Yeah, you
like,
have to differentiate them, right?
Short,
that's what I mean by be specific. Like, give a time frame, give a value, or give a, you know, whatever like specifications are required with whatever goal you have. Make sure you write those down too, and keep it in your head. So just the last two things is kind of like what I just said. Keep it in your head. You know, constantly remind yourself every day, or as much as you can, what your goals are and what means the most to you and what you want to achieve. You know, that's really important too. And one of the things that I've been doing recently, and I've kind of shared with him, is to kind of speak what you want into the universe. So like for me specifically, you know, when I first started doing it, I'd kind of like laugh, right? Because it just seems so crazy. But like, you know, every day I'll speak it out. You know, I'll say I need $100 million so that I can immensely give back to the people that I care about.
It literally says that. It'll be like, universe, I need 100 mil.
And it's, I don't know, man. Like it feels natural now. So that every day I just do it, man. And then like, you know what? When the day comes and I stacking, you know, it's gonna be dope. And honestly, like if you listen to anybody, like I know for, you know, kind of you, Nipsey Hussle's a big inspiration and a big, you know, role model for you. One of the things that I've heard him talk about a lot is speaking what you want to the universe. A lot of successful people, man, they say that. Like the world is all about energy, right? So whatever you give out into the world is what you receive. And you know, by doing those kind of things, it really will put you in a position to win. So yeah, man.
Help others win.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so I mean, like a lot of people say, you know, what good is success if you can't share it with the people around you. So for me, that's my big goal. I really hope that, you know, this video kind of helped you guys get through maybe a tough time you're having or anything like that. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. You can DM me or Cliff on Instagram. Mine is, you know, my my name. It's my same username as it goes on YouTube. I'll pop them up here somewhere. You guys can hit us up if you're interested. Be more than willing to talk to you and you know, hopefully help you through anything. But anything else you want to say, man?
No, nothing really besides just, you know, just my motto, you know, stay times 3, stay true, stay hungry, stay humble. Those 3 things are the 3 biggest things you can do. You know, stay true to yourself and true to what you believe in. Stay hungry. That means always scratching and clawing for what you want, and don't ever, you know, slow up. Always keep your foot on the gas. And then humble. That means don't get too above yourself and start forgetting about what, you know, the main purpose is, and that's to make an impact and to help other people. Like we said, you get whatever energy you give out is the same energy that you get back. So remain humble. Don't ever think you're above anybody else in this world and stuff like that. At the end of the day, we all human. We all,
Because your shit can be taken like that.
yeah, we all cry, we all bleed, you know, we all have emotion, we all feel stuff. So, you know, remain humble. So that's pretty much like the last thing I can really leave you with. I mean, there's not anything else to really say more than that besides just those 3 things.
Yeah. For me, abundance is a big word.
Oh yeah, it's his favorite word.
It's my favorite word, man. So I'm just gonna leave you guys with that. Live abundantly, think abundantly, and everything you do, just do it in abundance, right? So that
It
being
also
said,
says that in the Bible too.
yeah, man, abundance is a powerful word. I love that word. This is why I say, universe, I need 100 million so I can abundantly provide for myself and give back to those I care about.
For me, it's just more of just like me telling the universe, like, hey, let me use whatever like good skills and traits that I have to inspire other people, and it's been working. Now I don't even ask for money like he does, because I mean money's gonna come with success.
Yeah.
But my biggest thing is just impact. You know,
I feel like for what I want to accomplish, I need that amount of money to give people, bro.
Yeah.
I don't want that for myself.
Yeah.
I want it so I can give it to other people.
yeah, like Drake's God Plan video. That was a really cool thing he did.
Like, I want to do shit like that.
Yeah. Just like you see guys on Instagram rolling around and they just be giving out money to kids and stuff like that.
Like, that's so cool.
Like, that's really cool to do.
Seeing someone else smile is
Yeah.
like what brings me happiness. So I feel like if I'm in a position to where I have an abundance of money, and obviously, you know, I want to be in good health and I want to be able to get out and travel to these places with ease and not be like, you know,
Trying
whatever.
to scrape up dollars, like, can I afford this?
Yeah,
You know,
you know
like,
what I mean? So like,
that sucks. That's a shitty feeling. To be honest with you, that's a feeling that I have now. Sometimes I want to do things, I'm like, am I going to have enough money to pay this bill and do all that if I do this? But I know that's not going to last forever. That's just something that's
temporary.
current situation. That's why we working. Feel me?
Yeah, you're. All right, guys. Hopefully this helped. If it did, make sure you leave a like. Also subscribe. It would help me out. Maybe share this video if you think it was helpful, and maybe it can help someone else.
Definitely.
I'm sure it can. I'm sure it can. Come on, give it a share.
That'd be a good look. Share this video.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. You guys know me. I'm Will. Make sure you go follow
Cliff.
my boy Cliff. I'll have
Cold
his
brew
link.
Cliff on the ground.
Yeah. I'll have his links down below. Any questions, like I said, hit us up on Instagram. You can comment it down below, but if it's something personal, feel free to DM me on Instagram. I'd love to talk to you. Yeah, guys, until next time, hopefully you enjoyed. Peace.
Neighborhood.